Uma terra distante com neve, ventos e rochas. Um dos lugares mais lindos do planeta Terra. Descrita como o ápice de beleza dos Andes, este é o Parque Nacional Torres del Paine, do Chile. Quase 500 mil de acres de natureza selvagem. Cisnes negros e flamingos chilenos adicionam cor à paisagem primitiva. Grandes rebanhos de guanacos correm pelas montanhas e condores brilham no céu selvagem. Eles procuram animais mortos pela criatura mais perigosa daqui, um tímido e dissimulado predador. Este misterioso caçador tem a arte da invisibilidade e ninguém jamais o filmou como agora. Este é o leão da montanha americano, uma presença assustadora para sua presa, especialmente os guanacos. Esses enormes felinos são venerados pela mitologia tribal devido à sua astúcia e ação furtiva. Os povos indígenas lhe deram vários nomes, incluindo onça parda, pantera e leão da montanha. Mas aqui são conhecidos por seu nome inca, Puma, que significa forte e poderoso. Em casa, nas montanhas, florestas tropicais, desertos quentes e neve alta, este é um dos mais adaptados mamíferos daqui. É também um dos mais difíceis de se observar, mas a busca de um homem traz o primeiro documentário da vida natural dos pumas em seu habitat. Hugh Miles viveu nessa vastidão durante 2 anos com esses predadores, aprendendo sobre seus hábitos e refúgios. Ele ganhou até a confiança de um certo puma, trazendo-nos a imagem desse majestoso felino, essa aparição dourada, esse esquivo felino dos Andes. Puma, o felino dos Andes. Voando como a Apolo sobre os Estados Unidos da América, as montanhas podem parecer cair sobre o Caribe. E na América do Sul, os Andes quase chegam à Antártica. Essas montanhas são o domínio do leão da montanha. Mas a perseguição levou-o aos lugares mais remotos, como o Parque Nacional Torres del Paine, no Chile. Poucos lugares oferecem esconderijos para os temidos felinos, e poucos têm essa beleza a céu aberto. Varridas por tempestades vindas do Pacífico, essas montanhas lutam pelos elementos. Mas aqui é a Patagônia, que se tornou famosa na literatura. Pode ser um lugar inóspito no fim do mundo. Este lugar atingido pelos ventos é o lar dos pumas, mas eles são raramente vistos. Os peritos dizem que seria impossível fazer um filme sobre um puma selvagem. Mas isso não desencorajou Hugh Miles. Hugh conviveu com muitos animais selvagens e aceitou com prazer tentar achar esses felinos esquivos.
Filming pumas is a daunting prospect, but I love these inspiring landscapes, and the chance of getting to know such beautiful cats is a real privilege. That Wanako is alarmed, as well it might be. There are 2 pumas on that far hill. I can only just make them out, but one's bigger than the other. Maybe a mother and large cub, or a male and female. They're looking a bit nervous, but I'll try to get closer. It's always exciting when approaching an animal for the first time, especially something as charismatic as a big cat. Wow, he's not happy. Those flattened ears mean he's terrified. This is going to be difficult.
O puma ficou no mesmo lugar até a noite cair. Então desapareceu. Mas Hugh está pronto para esperar. Ele fica meses na natureza aberta. Mais de 2 anos se for necessário. Embora os pumas sejam tímidos, muitos animais como guanacos e raposas são mansos. São muito mansos.
After only a couple of weeks, I have this charming little grey fox completely trusting me. And I hope in time I'll win the trust of a wild puma. My helper in this quest is an old friend from Argentina, Donaldo McIver. We're a team of just 2 to limit disturbance. Our search for pumas begins where they've been seen in the past. Lake Sarmiento is huge, like an inland sea, its coast riddled with caves. But pumas are solitary animals with large territories, so there are probably only a few cats along this whole shoreline. A travelling cat will more than likely follow the coast, so I hide with the camera close to the shore, while Donnie watches from a distance to warn me if a cat is approaching. Then we wait, and wait. But we're lucky. After only 3 days, a cat is heading our way.
Hello, Hugh, do you copy?
Yeah, go ahead.
There's one coming around the coast now. It's looking pretty nervous. Should be about 3 minutes.
Okay, thanks, Donnie. I'll be careful. It's looking a bit tense. Obviously aware that something odd is hidden in the bushes. Jeez, that's one lovely cat. A female, I think. 6 feet of feline grace. It's lucky she's going into a cave. I'll concentrate on this one spot and see if she gets used to me. A couple of days later, she's at the cave again. Yeah, she's coming out. Oh dear, what an angry cat. The fire in those eyes. If looks could kill. The trouble is she could kill. Mountain lions have fatally injured a couple of people in the US recently. But there's really no danger, as long as I remain sensitive to her moods. Anyway, she's much more afraid of me. Those ears are so expressive. Turned back listening to me. Yes, I'm sure she's a female. She has a thinner face than that male we saw earlier. And this is encouraging. She isn't fleeing. If she sticks around, she might be our star. We soon learn that she'll accept only one person at a time. So Donnie looks for other cats while I tried to get her used to me being out in the open. And after several weeks, it's working. sort of. She's wagging her tail in annoyance. I wonder what goes on in her mind. Eye contact is most important to a cat, and I have to look away to release the tension. I seem to be forever waiting by the cave in the hope she's in there. Maybe not this time. Those guanacos are alarmed. Ah, there she is. So close. Her ears turned back in doubt. But it's fascinating how she looks at me. This is a serious game of cat and mouse. And guess who's the mouse? Luckily, she's beginning to ignore me and my shadow on the rocks. She's more interested in considering whether she could catch those grazing guanacos. Our persistence is beginning to pay off. After 3.5 months, she's finally trusting me. It's a wonderful moment. I'm always dubious about giving wild animals names, but she's such a special cat, I'll call her Penny, after an old friend. Sitting beside her, just 20 feet away, a completely wild puma trusting me not to harm her, is one of the greatest privileges I've ever been granted.
Agora é primavera. Penny tem várias presas para escolher. Muitas aves vão procriar. É uma região de gansos. Quanto mais plana fica, mais emas aparecem, criando seus filhotes. Essas duas espécies fazem parte da dieta de Penny, mas não são tão vitais como a lebre. Trazidas da Europa no fim do século XIX, elas se multiplicaram e agora são as presas preferidas dos pumas. Mas a fonte de alimento mais importante são os ancestrais da lhama, o guanaco. No fim da primavera é tempo de nascer e dentro de 2 semanas vão se acasalar. Os machos delimitam seu território. Isso quer dizer guerra. Mesmo distraídos pelas lutas, os guanacos estão sempre farejando o perigo. Embora Penny seja um animal da noite e de dia só queira tomar banho de sol, ela é oportunista e vai caçar sempre que tiver chance de sucesso. O puma pode ser um sério problema para os guanacos. Assim, eles preferem se alimentar e dar crias em áreas abertas, como meio de prevenir o ataque de pumas. Precisam garantir a prole. Muitos nascimentos se dão num período de 2 semanas e precisam se acasalar rapidamente. Os jovens chulengos são a presa favorita do Puma. E um passeando longe do grupo chama a atenção de Penny.
Up until now, it's been impossible to film Penny hunting. For if she's being watched by anyone, Guanacos or me, she just gives up. But after several weeks of patience, she's trusting me enough to continue, though with one ear keeping track of me.
Há um equilíbrio crítico entre Penny e sua presa. Uma competição entre a atuação furtiva do Puma e os olhos argutos do guanaco. Em muitas ocasiões como esta, os olhos vencem. Os guanacos não obedecem a limites. Embora o parque seja aberto para criadores de carneiros, os animais andam para lá e para cá, incluindo alguns pumas. Pegar um guanaco em alerta é difícil. Pegar um carneiro é fácil. E às vezes Penny cruza a cerca. Mas isso cria conflitos com os humanos. A criação de carneiros é um grande negócio. E embora os pumas sejam protegidos no Chile, a lei é ineficaz. Os fazendeiros empregam caçadores para proteger seus interesses. Oferecem uma boa remuneração e a perseguição aos pumas é intensa. Nossa Penny está protegida no parque, mas como os cães estão atrás dela, os limites podem ser ignorados. Após esse encontro com o caçador e seus cães, Rio e Donnie a procuram por vários dias. Mas Penny sumiu. É quando encontram uma prova alarmante. Na praia, há pegadas de puma, seguidas pelas pegadas de um cavalo. Os rastros levam à caverna e, para seu horror, eles encontram cápsulas de balas. Temendo pela vida de Penny, eles se juntam às autoridades do parque para ajudar.
Lenga 6, Lenga 9.
Lenga 9, Lenga 6.
En patrullaje realizado sector Lago Sarmiento, entraron al parque en seguimiento de un puma. Según rastro, R4.
R4,
Os parques nacionais do Chile são administrados com muito zelo e os veteranos Jovito Gonzalez e Juan Torro vivem preocupados com a ameaça à vida selvagem.
Ven acá e encuentro vainilla, son las mismas que tú encontraste.
Há tanto sangue na caverna que um felino deve ter sido morto e arrastado para o autor receber o pagamento. A perda de um só puma no parque é um choque grande, mas eles acham outra prova devastadora. Mais 2 mortes perto das cavernas. Rio e Donnie procuram por Penny em todos os lugares, mas em vão. A polícia investiga, mas não acha os culpados. Foram confirmadas as mortes de 3 felinos. O inverno chega à Patagônia, mas ainda não há sinal de Penny. Se ela estiver viva, está perdendo sua fonte de alimento, pois a neve leva os guanacos para longe. Mais de 2.000 guanacos vivem no parque e os diferentes grupos familiares formam um grande rebanho. A agressão do macho é suspensa pelo interesse na sobrevivência. Os rebanhos migram para o oeste em busca de pastos verdes.
Though we haven't seen Penny since the hunting incident, we've never given up hope that she's still alive. And while searching for her by the cave one day, we find puma tracks and our spirits soar. Are these Penny's prints? That evening we have the answer. There is our beautiful cat, still very much alive. It's great to see her again. Being with Penny day after day, I've learnt that the late evening, night and early morning are her most important hunting and feeding times. Hares are a favourite prey, and though I've always suspected that Penny is a youngish cat due to her rather impatient stalking, it's exciting to see her skills as a hunter improve with experience. Watched by a pair of courting and wary grey foxes, Penny plays with her victim as a kitten would, enjoying her sport long into the night. Searching for Penny the next day, I find that the hare is not her only kill. The rapid thaw has exposed a dead guanaco to the condor's gaze. Pumas cover their kills with vegetation or snow to hide food that could last several days, but Penny stays nearby to discourage the condors from scavenging her meal. Pumas tend to eat only at night, whereas foxes are always alert for any opportunity, and these two compete for Penny's buried treasure. They mustn't get too preoccupied. Given half a chance, Penny would eat them too. The fox's speed nearly always saves them, and Penny seems weary. So after a long night's hunting, it's time to return to the den for her daytime sleep.
Com Penny de volta à caverna e a carcaça exposta aos condores, é mais seguro eles descerem em grupos. Com seus 3 metros de asas, os condores têm um controle impressionante nesse céu turbulento e parecem maiores nessa paisagem magnífica. Zangadas com o tamanho dos condores, as pequenas raposas vão ter que esperar a vez, mas vai sobrar muito pouco quando os condores terminarem. Os machos adultos pesam 50 quilos e transformam a carcaça em esqueleto rapidamente. 3 dias de suprimento se foram. Penny vai ter que caçar de novo hoje à noite.
I wonder if hunger caused by losing the guanaco to the condors forced Penny to go sheep rustling. For next time I see her, she has a wound in her left thigh, inflicted by the hunter's dogs perhaps, or winged by a bullet. Fortunately, she doesn't seem to be limping, so maybe it's only a flesh wound. I worry that getting her used to me will put her at greater risk with other humans, but she clearly differentiates between us. For when a photographer friend tried to approach her, even camouflaged in my clothes, she fled. Brushing that branch with scent is one of the ways Penny marks her home range. She also sprays bushes and leaves droppings on trails to tell other cats she's passed by. Following Penny around, we've learnt she has a home range of over 60 square miles, overlapping with maybe 2 other females, but only 1 male. If she's to breed successfully, she not only has to stake out this home range and let the male know she's here, she must also find food, so she does a lot of walking. In the evening, I find Penny sniffing around above her den. She's keenly interested, as if she smells another cat, and maybe it's a male. Pumas become sexually mature between 2 and 3 years old, and if Penny is as young as I suspect, this could be her first encounter. Mountain lions can breed in any month, but down here in Patagonia, the pumas tend to have kittens in the spring. Her behavior does suggest a male is around. She seems keen, but hesitant, just like any young lady on a blind date. And there he is, a big male waiting by the den. Penny seems apprehensive. In fact, Rather touchingly, she circles round closer to me than him. Seems extraordinary that she trusts a human more than a puma. I feel quite honoured. He's not happy with me. Probably can't understand Penny's relaxed attitude. She doesn't seem to be too impressed by him. He's a powerful-looking cat, easily recognised by those more distinct black and white markings on his face. Unlike Penny's rather laid-back, provocative attitude, it doesn't look as though the male will relax while I'm here. So as he sits looking at his potential mate, I give them privacy and retreat back to camp. I see Penny and the male together just once more, in moonlight near our tents. If they did mate, gestation is about 3 months, so she might have cubs in the spring.
A primavera é uma época estimulante e renovadora, e o parque se torna a meca da vida selvagem. Aves inundam os numerosos lagos, flamingos chilenos e patos avermelhados com marcas no peito. As raposas e seus filhotes vão aproveitar a exuberância de vida. E talvez Penny tenha filhotes. Mas ela sumiu de novo. Deve estar escondida nas montanhas. Semanas se passaram, e o sol do verão seca a terra. O mundo gira, e o frio do outono avança pelas montanhas. Mas ainda não há sinal de Penny. Com a chegada do outono, os guanacos se reúnem em grandes grupos para o inverno. E Hugh continua a procurar por Penny perto dos rebanhos.
At last I find Penny again, and after all this time, her attitude to me seems different. Is it a warning to keep my distance? Or a gesture of friendship? Either way, if she does have cubs, I hope she'll lead me to them. If they were born in the spring, they should have been out of the den for several weeks. I follow her into a steep-sided valley, at the bottom of which is a dried-up lake. This bush should break up my silhouette on the skyline. And, yeah, there. I can just make her out in the marsh, lying on a bed of dried reeds. And she does have a cub. Oh, 2 more playing nearby. 3 in all, a normal-sized litter. Must be about 4 months old. What charming little kittens they are. My joy at finding the cubs is short-lived, for in trying to find a better camera position, she spots me and is terrified, absolutely shaking with fear. Her wild instincts seem to have taken over completely. She's abandoning the cubs. Understandable, I guess. I suppose she thinks I'm a hunter. She's obviously choosing to protect her own life. Or is she trying to draw me away from her cubs, as mountain lions have been known to do in North America? Whatever the reason, I pray that her departure is only temporary. It's a tense situation. For filming wild animals, however well-intentioned, often disturbs them and can even put their lives at risk. And the animal's welfare must come first. But I've really blown it this time. I pull back to a safe distance from Penny, and much to my relief, as darkness approaches, she relaxes and seems to accept me again. Then she starts heading back to the cubs. Using a special night vision lens, I hope to witness a happy reunion. Pumas can see really well in moonlight, but Penny also uses a harsh bark to locate her cubs. Though the quality of my night vision lens is poor, it sure is a relief to see the family safely together again. At 4 months old, the cubs are already weaned onto meat, so this means Penny must leave them frequently to go off hunting. And now she knows they're safe. That's exactly what she does. After the scare I gave Penny, I lose her for several days, but eventually find her to the west of her den. She only has 2 cubs, and I wonder where the 3rd one has gone. Donnie and I just walk and walk, scouring the hills for Penny and her cubs and clues of their presence. And about a week later, we come across one of Penny's old kills. And there, close to it, is a sad sight. The 3rd cub, its body already desiccated by the relentless wind. Its skull is flat on one side. Must have been crushed by another puma, for nothing else is strong enough. It's a tearful moment, and we pray that Penny's other cubs will survive.
Logo após esta perda, Penny e seus outros filhotes voltam para perto da velha caverna. Ela sabe que é um bom local para caçar e, sem dúvida, os filhotes irão aprender isso com ela. A experiência ensinou a Penny onde esperar por guanacos sedentos. Infelizmente, os filhotes de Penny ainda não aprenderam a importância de se manterem escondidos. Uma vez descoberta, Penny não gastará energia tentando se esconder. Ela simplesmente se muda para outro local de caça. Os filhotes ficarão com fome novamente, mas suas vidas são de fartura ou privação. Se sobreviverem até a idade adulta, terão de encarar dificuldades muitas vezes.
Penny is finding just how tough it is to raise a family, and driven by hunger, hunts in all weathers. Without surprise on her side, Penny has little chance against a fleet-footed hare, and she needs larger meals too. But the Wanakos have been driven west by the blizzards, and Penny must follow. Hungry or not, the cubs remain playful as they follow her trail. They're 8 months old now, and I soon appreciate how effective their large paws are in soft snow. They glide over the surface while I struggle to keep up, drilled into deep drifts by 50 pounds of camera gear. But I'm desperate to see a successful Wanako hunt, and Penny is keen too. On this particular day, she walks 6 miles, but it may be worth it. Wanakos converge into large herds in harsh weather, not just for warmth and shelter, but to exploit the best forage. They feed more efficiently if there are many pairs of eyes, for it can be a successful defense against Puma attack. Penny's coat color is a disadvantage in snow, but it's surprising just how close she can stalk without being seen. For every success, there are many failures, and almost inevitably, it seems, Penny is spotted. But she has another problem. Her quest for a meal has taken her deep into the home range of another cat, and it's watching us all from the top of the cliff. This one also has cubs, 3 large ones. I'm keen to find out who Penny's neighbour is, and though the cubs make themselves scarce and their mother is shy at first, she's remarkably tolerant. Living deep inside the park, perhaps she has little fear of humans. She's a superb cat with that wide head and those large pale jowls. And she has a much darker nose too. Completely different looks from Penny. And though I'm biased, she's not really as pretty. She's huge, must weigh close to 150 pounds, more the size of a male. Penny is extremely wary of this stranger, for pumas will defend their litters fiercely. So each family avoids confrontation by putting wild country between them. The cubs seem unwilling to do anything but play, and Penny is reluctant to leave the area too, for this is where the Wanakos are holed up for the winter. But she must retreat to ensure her cubs' safety. They'll be hungry again, but spring is on the way. With the thaw comes a food supply, for as winter loosens its icy grip on the land, the guanacos migrate back to the area where Penny lives. She was obviously lying in ambush, for we discover a fresh-killed guanaco, carefully hidden to await her return with the cubs. At dusk, I walk down to my camera near the carcass, and with guanacos to warn me of Penny's approach, I'm free to enjoy these glorious skies. Suddenly, like ghosts, the cats are beside me, moving noiselessly through the grass. I sense a quiet menace in such silent stealth, but as with most animals, the threat of danger is largely in the imagination. Trouble is, I can only see through the special lens, and it sure feels spooky being surrounded by 3 large cats in the dark. The cubs are now a year old and need a lot of meat, so Penny is catching adult guanacos. Standing 6 feet and weighing as much as 300 pounds, guanacos are more than twice her size. Yet Penny not only kills them, she's also strong enough to drag them to safe feeding places. The sound of crunching bones must be like a guanaco's worst nightmare. Once they're replete, the cubs are free to play. But with dawn approaching fast, Penny must cover the carcass, as there's still at least 4 nights' meat here for her growing family. Play is an essential part of the cubs' training as predators, developing muscles and hunting skills. But watching them romping about, you can't help feeling they're just having fun. They won't be independent until they're maybe 18 months old, so if they survive, Penny still has 6 months hard work ahead. And if she survives the threats of starvation and poaching, she will start all over again. She might live more than 8 years, raising at least 4 litters of mischievous kittens. With the dawn chorus in full voice, Penny leads the cubs away, taking them to different parts of the home range each day to ensure they know the best places to hunt and hide. Their survival is important. The pumas are a vital part of the natural cycle in these mountains. From the sun's power to the growing plants, the plant eaters and their death and decay, all these elements must be balanced if the land is not to be damaged. In turn, pumas themselves are profoundly dependent on the life support systems they helped create. So it's not just sentiment that makes Penny and her cubs important. Pumas, cougars, mountain lions, they must all survive if these wild places are not to lose their essential spirit, their inspiration. But the story is not quite complete. I heard recently that Penny and the cubs are still alive. And though I'll always be disappointed that fate didn't allow me to see her actually catch a guanaco, maybe that is how it should be. She's kept many secrets, retained her mystery and dignity. And I have many wonderful memories, for this completely wild puma gave me the privilege of sharing part of her life, even trusting me enough to sleep by my side. Her presence in the mountains is not a shadow, it's a shining light.